Kick back, have a sit, turn it up, get your fix. Time to upgrade, augment, but stay real, this the naked patient. Come by, the doc is in, you'll understand why it's good to be Nick. Like a tattoo, these words stick. All net, never throwing up bricks. Let's grow together through the weather, we can make a dent. Authentic people sharing stories, hope that it clicks. No need to dress it up, this is real as it gets. Let's strip it down, it's the naked patient, yeah.
Welcome to another episode of The Naked Patient with my wife.
Wow, you sound so enthused.
Hey, honey.
Oh my God. Oh, we're starting out.
That sounded really funny in my head. Halfway through it, I'm like, oh, this is a real dick joke.
Well, and then I just fumble the whole
You nailed it.
thing.
Talk to us about the outfit today.
Okay.
If you're not watching this, you need to get onto the YouTube channel.
Shall I stand? Because
and
I
watch
feel
this.
like.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll take you out of frame or not, but
Okay.
tell me what you said you look like because I was dying laughing.
Little backstory here. I saw Beth Clifford wear an outfit when they were in Europe. Her and Brad were in Europe the last time. She was wearing these shoes, and I've had these shoes for a while, but I have struggled to find an outfit that works with them without me feeling like a 14-year-old girl in them.
Is that because of the way they look, or is it because our 17-year-old daughter has these shoes?
Little column A, little column B.
Okay.
So I see her wearing this cute, oversized, like knit outfit. And I'm like, oh, I love that. I want to try that. I forget Beth is like 5 inches taller than I am.
No, she's not.
Pretty sure she is.
Is she?
She's not 5'4".
Yeah, she's probably like 5'7", 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
Beth, confirm. We'll send it to her.
So I'm like, great. So I find this little outfit, love it, wearing it as a trial run because I'm like, this will be really comfy traveling when we go to Europe. That was the whole
Oh, this would be a good
process.
little Europe travel fit. Okay.
I put it on and I'm like, oh my God, I'm short, squatty. I look like someone's old rich aunt that travels a lot, but just buys you socks for Christmas. And then she'll bring you back one of those little spoons from everywhere she goes because she thinks that you still collect spoons even though you're 35 years old. So you're like, what the fuck am I going to do with this junk? Or Whoopi Goldberg. It's definitely like giving me Whoopi Goldberg, like oversized vibes right now.
You do look like you could be on The View instead of The Naked Patient right now.
So I feel very boxy and a little bit squatty. And Michelle confirmed, she's like, I really want to get on this. Michelle McCormack. She's like, I want to get on the oversized train as well. But when you're shorter, we're about the same height. We both have a similar body type. She's got a little more, she's much more in shape than I am, but similar. And I'm like, no, I get it, girl. Like, so, and it's kind of strangling me. I don't know how I feel about my clothes strangling me.
You look fabulous.
So
You look fabulous.
thanks.
I would ravage you.
Like a train.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's what it's for. It's the train outfit from Paris to London.
Okay, that's that train. Moving on. Moving along. This is going to be our first episode that we really haven't put any feelers out there on social media and been like, hey, what should we talk about? Mm-hmm. This is a Howland edition. If I'm being honest, I had some people, actually, I didn't even have people cancel today. I just did not get this day booked up as early as I normally do. And so I was scrambling last minute.
And I'm always the last minute filler.
And you are my last minute filler option.
Always. When there is a Howland edition, at 99% of the time it is that as well.
Yeah, but it's nice to have this. I think we put out good episodes, you and I.
I think we do too.
We come in here and put some authentic conversations out there.
I think we do too.
I've had a lot of really good feedback on our nip tuck stuff this week.
Oh, good. Because my face don't lie.
It really was your face is like the comment I get most of. People are like, I don't know who's doing your videos or what's happening. But when they zoomed in on Haley's face, oh my God, I about fell on the floor.
We should do more of those and just uncut reactions from.
We are going to just uncut reactions from Haley's face. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we are.
Yeah, I said it. We are
18 days from our legal wedding anniversary.
We are. I actually am looking for ideas currently because we've decided. So the 22nd is our official marriage. That was what we called our dog wedding.
Dog wedding.
But that was the actual marriage license, marriage certificate in Colorado almost a year ago.
Yep.
Do we drive out to Colorado?
Lover.
Just for funsies that
When?
day? That day, it's a Sunday.
That's still like an 8-hour drive.
It's 4 hours to Grand Junction.
Was it only 4? I feel like it was a lot longer.
No, it's 4 hours to Grand Junction, 4 hours back.
We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. So we are leaving.
We are leaving.
God, we have something the 21st. Oh, my show.
Yes, you have a show on the 21st.
So
Maybe we should continue to talk and we'll
this is usually
let's continue
how this
let's continue the podcast. We're getting a little sidetracked here. So first year anniversary, actual wedding. We've decided because people have asked me throughout this whole year, like, you're not like celebrating every one of these anniversaries, are you? I'm like, of course we are.
Yeah, why not?
They are all special days for us. We're going to celebrate special days.
But the big ones are obviously going to be this one and the May 11th
Correct.
wedding.
Yes. The moon wedding thing was, I think we might acknowledge it, but we probably, maybe we'll make it a date night every year or something.
Yeah, it'll just be something that we do. It's not going to be a big anniversary, but we have decided that for the dog wedding anniversary date, we're going to do the traditional gifts for the year. And year one happens to be paper. I've already gotten yours, so.
What?
Yep.
Okay. I was talking to Tawny about this today. I was like, what the hell do I get that's paper? She's like, it's paper? What the fuck? Paper?
Yeah, your one is paper.
Tawny is appalled that it was paper, but the traditional one is paper. If anybody has any ideas for me, we'll probably drop this after.
I was going to say, we're dropping this well after. So
I'll let you know.
Maybe they just need to like grab this clip and like shove it out there real fast.
Ooh, I could actually have Nick do that. We could just take a clip. What do you get that's paper? No, we'll figure something out. Which is interesting because it takes till you're 50 years in for it to be the diamond anniversary. And we talked about this. Will we make the 50-year anniversary?
We're starting late.
We did start late. I think we do.
I think so.
Modern medicine. Yeah.
Will I want to be alive in 50 years? I don't know.
We're working on our health span, not our lifespan.
Well, yes. Health span. For sure. Yeah, we'll see.
What are we going to do for the May 11th?
I think that's just because we looked at what the modern anniversary was, and they were not.
They were silly.
They were, yeah.
They were lame. Like clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can't even do anything that's clever.
Yeah.
With that, like a clock. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could, but paper. You have options. Like it doesn't have to be a piece of paper. It could be a book, or, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to the most right now?
I am looking forward to, there's a few things. I think our upcoming trip, we're flying into Paris on Christmas Day. I mean, it won't be Christmas Day when we land, but we're leaving Christmas Day. And we're flying out with both kids, spending a night in Paris, and then we are going as a big blended family to London because Isabel won this really cool cheer award that she gets to cheer in the New Year's Day parade in London.
Yeah. I have tried to impress upon her how really cool this is. I think she gets it a little bit, but I hope she just soaks it up.
Yeah.
Because the parade route is a 2-mile parade route down like some monumental historic landmarks. They go past Big Ben, they go past Westminster Abbey, and it's just absolutely all along the Thames. It's spectacular.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's going to be televised, which will be big.
Yeah. So I am so excited for her to just soak up that moment. I'm excited that it's a blended family trip. My ex-wife will be there, and we've got some things planned with the whole family together, which I think is going to be a blast.
Yeah. It'll be a really cool trip it will be the first time that we do.
Yeah, this will be the first time we've ever done a trip like this. I've shared this story, not on the podcast, but I've talked with a couple of people about this. When Hillary and I got divorced, so backtrack even before this, when my parents got divorced, they tried to continue to do things together, like vacations, but they didn't have a great relationship. And so it actually, I think they thought they were doing the kids a favor by trying to make things not change, but it was awkward for the kids because they weren't getting along, and it was putting everybody in a situation that was still weird.
Probably a lot of strain, a lot of you could feel that tension.
Yes. And so fast forward to when Hillary and I got divorced, and she actually said, I'm not doing that, what your parents did. We're going to have very clear boundaries. We're not going to travel together. We're going to co-parent together. But that's it. And it was interesting because I think there was a part of me that was a little bit hurt, but I also think it's one of the best things and choices that we've ever made. And she's the one who made it. So the credit goes to her because it allowed her to develop her relationship that she has with her husband, Alex. It allowed that separation so that I could have my own space with the children and her own space with the children, and just not have that weirdness there. And so now that this is the very first trip, Rockwell actually sent me a message, and he's like, Hillary sent me this message that he had asked her. He said, so are you guys just going to be like Grams and just hang out while we're in London together? And I think Hillary's like, I don't know. We'll see. And for me too, the most important thing is that we're all there to celebrate and support Isabel.
Yeah.
And I think everybody gets that. But it has taken a long, long time to get to this point.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm excited. What are you most excited about in London or Paris or both? Because you've never been.
I've never been.
I've been to these places multiple times.
We are doing the catacombs in Paris, which you guys have not done.
I've not done
either.
catacombs.
So that's going to be a big first. And the kids weren't able to go when they were in Europe with their mom this summer. So excited for that. There's we're going to take a little day trip and drive from London to Glastonbury. And one of my very, very, very favorite books is The Mists of Avalon, and it's set in Glastonbury. And there's the sacred sites from they very much go in line with Christianity, because they're very much like Christian sacred sites, but there is some like mysticism that's along with it too, because it's the area where King Arthur supposedly.
Well, a lot of people believe that
and-
Jesus may have actually taken a pilgrimage out there during his life. And then I think there is evidence that Mary was out there during her life.
Yeah. So that's a big one for me that I'm very excited for. And then of course seeing like, I don't know, you've talked up London a lot. Like it's one of your favorite places.
It's one of my absolute favorite cities in the world.
Very excited to go out there and see just a new place.
Should we do a live team?
Sure.
I know we've done that before on the podcast.
Well, what's your favorite thing that you're looking forward to?
What is my favorite thing I'm looking forward to? That trip in particular, I'm very excited for. I am excited to go to the gym with you in about 20 minutes. I'm one moment to the next. That doesn't mean I don't have things that I'm looking forward to. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up. But most importantly, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is our lighter schedule next year.
Yeah,
We have had a wild year this year.
for sure.
It's been fun. It's been too much. I mean, I did 3 international trips this year. You did 2 international trips this year. We had a massive wedding party. Multiple other trips in there interspersed. And a big part of this has been We Are the They. A big part of it's been our wedding. One of the international trips was, my sister's wedding in New Zealand, which was just incredible. And it's a fun year, but also I don't regret a single part of it, but I'm looking forward to some more simplicity next year and to really focusing more on the things and the people that need more from us.
Yeah. Towards the end of the year, I was felt like I was pulling teeth to get you to just stay home for a weekend. And I'm like, we can't, we were gone 5 weekends in a row and I was about to lose my shit.
Oh, I think we were both there. Like every time we were packing those weekends, we were just like, God damn, what did we do? Why do you think that's so important to just kind of chill and not go at this breakneck pace?
Well, it's
because you and I push and pull on this a lot. I tend to try to go at a breakneck pace and you will pull me back.
Regardless of whether it's breakneck for work or breakneck for travel and enjoyment, at some point you're going to get burnt out. At some point you're going to have things that will hit the fan that you have just been neglecting because you haven't been present and slowing down to accommodate real life. And I think it has felt like in some ways, you were told early on in your career, you have to take time for yourself. You have to do, vacations and stuff so that you don't burn out. And you have to have extracurriculars so that you don't burn out. And I think that has in some ways shifted how you look at what the responsibilities are for taking care of the house and things like that. Those things come, I think it feels to me, dead last in your book. And for me, those things are what keep your sanity day to day. Because if you're not paying attention to what's going on in your house and you're not showing the things that you have worked very hard to have a nice home and all of these things, but if you are not putting the time in to make it nice, you're kind of shitting on that.
Yeah.
A little bit. And for me, it it's all in balance. Like I love the travel and I love seeing our friends and I love all of that too. But we have to have time to make sure life is in order, make sure that the people who need time from us have it. Because I think that's what it comes down to too, is that when we're breakneck, there's not time for, there's not as much time to spend time with kids, with family. There's not time for me to do what I enjoy and schedule shows and stuff like that because we're always gone. And I'm always telling the guy, sorry, won't be here this weekend. Sorry, won't be here that weekend.
Yeah.
And it definitely started to wear on me in that way too. Because I was not able to put time into things that I felt were important to me.
Yeah. This has been a long, not battle of ours, but like definitely like a issue that we've had to really figure out and learn. And I don't think we've figured it out yet. I think we're making progress in the right direction. And
I think there will definitely still be times when you're like, oh, we're doing this weekend, we're doing that. And I'm like, no, we're not.
No, we're not. I remember this realization that I had just a few weeks ago, because you and I had this conversation again where you were like, baby, we are going too hard and too fast, and we're not giving time and attention to the people that need it the most from us. And for me, I just talked about this with Laura on the podcast we did last, where I have been a people pleaser and a yes man, and I want to help everyone, and I want to say yes to all of the people that want our time and attention. And I don't mean that to sound like there's this like horde of people that want our time and attention, but it's easy for me when somebody says, hey, we'd love to go to dinner with you guys, to be like, absolutely, done, let's go, let's make it happen. And you were like, it's too much. We need to readdress this because we have not come to a happy medium. And I think I pushed back a little bit, where I was like, no, we can do all these things. We can do this and that and still give this and still give that. And it was hard for me. And I sat with that though. And literally like the next day, we were in Park City at an event, and I just realized that the people that matter the most are the ones that need more of us. And I don't know why it hit me so hard, but I immediately knew exactly who the people were who mattered the most. And it was immediately our kids, our family, and then a small circle. But really it was the kids, our family, the people that you care about the most, which includes your family and the band. And I realized that the easiest, because setting boundaries has been a hard thing for me in the past, and it's something I've really worked hard on in the last couple of years. The easiest boundary in the world is if somebody calls and says, hey, we'd love to do dinner with you guys, just to say, hey, that sounds great. We love you guys. We'd love to do dinner. Right now, our kids need us more. And if they don't appreciate that or see that, then they probably are not people that we need in our circle or life anyway.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, it's not a lie. It's not because right now our kids do need us more. We've got a daughter who's graduating from high school soon. We've got a son who just started junior high, and they need as much of us as they can get right now.
Yeah.
So I started laughing because I'm like, oh, this is the easiest thing in the world. And I'm like, God damn it, Haleigh told me this yesterday.
Literally on the drive up here.
And yeah, sometimes I'm just a little slow.
Well, and It definitely has not been the first conversation
No.
around it. The funny thing is, you had brought that up when we were in Snowbird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna withdraw. These last 3 months, we're gonna take it really slow. We're gonna slow down. I'm not gonna like say yes to everything. And October, I was like, I'm going to fucking murder you. We're going to dinner with these guys. When? On what day would you like to do that? Because
look at this calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to come back here next year and talk about how chill the year has been and how much we've given to the things that mattered the most.
Yeah.
That's something else I'm excited for. This is something that we've done for the last couple of years is we usually will have a date night and we will go through all of the last year's photographs in our phones together.
Yeah.
And it always turns into kind of a very emotional dinner.
Yeah.
Because we remember all of the things from what this year was. Yeah. And it's not like we've forgotten the year, but it's so fun to go back and just remember, oh my gosh, like I forgot that happened.
Yeah. It was, I mean, even the other night I was going through your phone to look for photos to send to my dad for he puts like a calendar together and then gives it to each of the kids for Christmas. It's one of their gifts that they do. And he had asked for photos and I was like, gosh, Nick takes way more photos than I do. I'm not great at it. I have been much more, I've wanted to be present in the moments more than trying to document them, which can be a good thing and a bad thing too. Like sure. I don't totally prescribe to people being like, oh, I was totally off my phone the whole time and I didn't take a single picture. And I'm like, well, sometimes, like, especially with kids, when you have kids, because they grow up so fast and you look back and you're like, oh my God, yeah, we did this with the kids. And we, look at how much Rockwell's grown from 6 months ago till now. And that's, that's really fun. So you're better at that in that way. But there was a photo from, it was an accidental photo of like your hand and your photo in your phone in your hand, but it was during our beach day in New Zealand with your family, and we were able to kind of like look over that and just be, oh yeah, I remember how we had to ferry ourselves over there, and the boat just about took like 3 of us out because the prop, like the waves were so big, and the prop nearly like crushed someone in the face. That would have been interesting in a foreign country. And so, we got to talk about that, and it does strike up a good conversation about just how the year progressed and the growth that you've had through it.
Yeah. It's, if you've not done this, like I highly recommend just sit down with your spouse or your significant other, or if you don't have one of those, just you. And like, it takes a while depending on the amount of photos you take. Like you plan an hour or 2, but just go through those photos, like relive those moments, take a journal. And it can also, I like it because we usually will do it right before we do a planning session for the year, like a goal setting session. And it really helps spark some ideas of like goals you want to set, places you might want to go, things you might want to do again, or things you're like, oh my gosh, that was a bucket list item. I check it off. So if you've not done it, I highly, highly recommend that.
Now, do you want to do a live team?
Let's do it. You want to start or you want me to?
You can start. You suggested it.
Oh, God. All right. What'd you learn today?
Oh, I thought you meant like, oh my hell. What did I learn today? I'm
going to need that clip.
I learned On top of that, oversized things are not really my friend. Pleats. Pleats are not a friend.
Where do you have pleats?
Well, I bought a few things from this company.
Okay.
And the pants I bought, they're like a white, long, oversized pleated pant. And they're a little like the sizing recommendation on the pant was a little off. They're a little small, but I put them on. I'm like, oh, like they actually, okay. Like holding them up, they looked like they were way too small. I put them on, I got them done. I'm like, oh, they fit. But my thighs are so muscular that pleats don't lay. My legs are trying to leave the plate where they may. So that
You
was,
always just probably stop pushing 5 plates when you do your leg presses.
you know,
You are a beast with those leg presses.
450 is.
Oh. All I hear when I hear the word pleat is Ron Burgundy from Anchorman when he's got an erection in his pants. He's like, it's the pleat in the pants.
The pleat.
Sorry. Okay, that's a good one. I learned today that I mean, this is nothing new, but I really enjoy my podcast days. They feel like therapy for me. I am excited they're nice because it's usually I usually have like a little half day at the office first. And so today we did like a quick little case. I got to see a few patients and I just like the whole time I got a little like pep in my step, ready to get down here and have some conversations and it's tiring. Like this is, if I'm having like 3-4 podcast conversations in a day, it is hard. Like, because you're engaged, locked into this. You can't just coast.
Yeah.
But it is, it's something I really, really enjoy. I think that one of my biggest lessons from this podcast is the power of people's story, both for themselves and for others. And just like being able to witness that with every single person that comes on this podcast is so fun.
Yeah.
Whether it's really deep and impactful, like this last one I just had with Laura, or whether it's kind of just light and airy, which is one I had with Nicole Hammond right beforehand. Like we didn't put in anything deep and significant, and it was fine. It was still beautiful. Anyway,
It was still like a fun conversation and getting to know someone on a deeper level and just know what makes them tick.
Yeah, I had Mark on here a few weeks ago. We're actually going to release the episode tomorrow. And he and I shared 2 stories that we love in our little friend group that have never been shared on the podcast. It was the tattoo story. I've never actually told it on the podcast. Not the whole thing, like where it came from.
Really?
Getting it, all that. And the building a fire story. Which you get thrown under the bus in that story.
Wouldn't expect anything otherwise. Did you talk about Mark's head getting smaller on that one?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Leave that one for...
If you haven't heard that episode, go back and listen.
Because...
I appreciate... very much just how excited I am to see you every day. Last night, and I told this to a few people today. Like Tuesdays are tough because Tuesdays I always operate. So I'm gone early Tuesdays. You typically have band practice. And so you're home at 9:30 and it's rare that I will get home before you leave for band practice. And so Tuesdays are usually a day where, I'm gone by 5 o'clock and then you don't get home till 9:30 and it's
9:30, 9:45.
It's time for bed.
Yeah.
And so last night I got home from what I was doing around 8:45 and I got in bed and I was like, okay, I'm going to read my book. I will try to never fall asleep before you get home. I like to at least welcome you home. And so I'm going to read my book. Haleigh will get home in 20, 30 minutes. I'll go to bed early. I'll get up, go to the gym, it'll be great. And I think we stayed up until 11:30, just talking, laughing, enjoying one another's company. I just wanted to be with my friend.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate the level of friendship that we have, that I still just get excited to see you.
Thank you, baby. I get excited to see you. It was a really fun night, honestly. And actually this weekend too, because we had so much time after Thanksgiving to just be with one another. And I also think that was a good reminder to you of like, oh, like being home doesn't mean I'm not doing anything or I'm not enjoying myself or I'm feeling like I'm missing out. There are things that are just as impactful and just as important and just as fun in the mundane sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time. I get,
After one day of like nothing, we were like, we should probably get out tonight.
Yeah. I said this over the weekend, but I do want to reiterate it because we've had more instances that have reaffirmed this for me. You are very important to a lot of people. And a lot of people come to you with trials and tribulations, and they trust you and they trust your guidance and your wisdom and your experience in these things because a lot of the stuff you've lived through and you have learned beautiful lessons from. And so there are, we've had a lot of friends who have come in their darkest moments to you and put, I don't want to say put that on you, but entrusted you with where they're at. And I see how much of that you carry yourself and how much it weighs on you because you just want everyone to be happy and to love everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think it gets lost sometimes in wanting to be led or coached by somebody who you think has it all figured out or has never gone through those hard times, that because they haven't had relationships that have failed multiple times, or that they haven't had depression, or they haven't had things like that have come up in their life, that they have somehow made it because they haven't had to experience those things. But I see the gift in having those moments and being able to help people through them, or help people who are maybe getting close to that point, like say with divorce, and being like, well, okay, here are your options. Maybe you don't have to go through this path, but maybe it is for the best and stuff like that. So I think that's very, it's just something I very much appreciate you for, and that I don't think is noticed how much you carry the weight of it.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah. My metric is that I'm very glad that you have come to the realization that I was right.
Always. I always do.
I am very much looking forward to a lighter year as well. And I would ask that when things are brought up, like a dinner or something like that, that you want to say yes to, that we just discuss it first instead of immediately like knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, we could totally do that, which I know you're working on, but that is my ask.
I can do that. I will point out too, for the audience that's raptly engaged in this,
my parents.
This is exactly how this team thing works, though. Like, so Haleigh has brought up in here like something that is obviously an issue in our marriage. And if we had started this conversation at home or elsewhere, and she had just said, hey, I need you to start asking me about these things, it just is a completely different energy. I would probably get very defensive, and it could potentially start an argument. And so, team is beautiful for so many other reasons. Like for, first of all, we're not touching, but
Yeah.
you can see that we get significance out of the education. We get significance out of the appreciation, but the whole thing is really geared to lead you to this metric where now we're in a space where she can ask something like that in a much more beautiful, reasonable way, where I now am much more receptive to just be like, oh my gosh, of course I would do that. Of course I will bring those things to you. And I don't know, that was a beautiful example. Good job.
Gold star.
My metric is just, I cannot believe it's been not even a year of marriage. Mm-hmm. And I had this conversation with Jerem Iacano and Jesse Iacano where they were like, God, you guys, it feels like you guys have been married for 20 years, like all the rest of us. And I just said, well, like, and it was funny because he said, you guys have just taken this direct path to all of the secrets of marriage, whereas we have done like all like up and down and sideways and figure it out. And you were actually present for this conversation. And I said, well, yes. And like
Direct with each other.
Yeah, we did this,
but separately
with other people until we found each other. And you are exactly who you spend the most time with. And our circle is, thank God, people who have really strong marriages and have been together for 20 plus years and have navigated their marriages, because I learn so much from our friends around us of who we are. And yeah, I'm so happy for where we are at. I'm not trying to like toot our own horn and be like, oh my gosh, we're nailing this marriage thing. Cause it's work. It's, and we continue to work at it, and but it's worth it. Like every time we do this work and every time some new little onion layer peels back or some new lesson gets taught, it just makes it even better.
Yeah.
And I just love you.
I love you, baby.
Well, as we said, we're going to go to the gym. And thanks for listening to our show, guys. We love you all.
We love you guys.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever time it is.
By the time you release this, it'll probably be Lunar New Year, somewhere on there.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thanks for coming on, Mrs. Howland.
You're welcome, Mr. Howland. Dr. Howland.
Mr. in England, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, surgeons are known as misters in the UK.
What are...
Shittier doctors? Doctors. This is a real thing. In the UK, surgeons are called misters.
Well, then what is a Mr. in the US in the UK? Matt?
I don't know. We'll call Matt.
We'll call Matt.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Thanks. Thank you so much for listening to The Naked Patient Beyond the Operating Room. I'm Dr. Nicholas Howland. Please remember that every patient who appears on this podcast has consented to discuss their story and their surgery on the podcast. That way we remain HIPAA compliant. This is a free podcast. The best thing that you can do for us is to leave us a review online. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you'd like to hear. Let us know how we can improve. If you are curious about anything related to plastic surgery, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Dr. Nicholas Howland, and I typically respond there, or you can reach us at the office at 801-571-2020, or we have an online form you can fill out at the website, www.howlandplasticsurgery.com. Any of our coordinators would be happy to help you. Thanks again for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Naked Patient Podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode. Till next time.